Fear stops us from achieving our true greatness. Are you a professional woman who is feeling stuck, unmotivated, or burned out? Are you worried about your wellness? Are you letting fear stop you from crushing your goals? If you answered yes to any or all of these, then this is the podcast for you. Dr. Charmaine Gregory, night shift emergency physician, burnout thriver, and wellness champion, along with everyday heroes just like you, will explore how to face fear in our lives and emerge victoriously.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get notified when the next video comes out. It only takes 2 seconds to make 2 clicks. So let's do it. Let's get back to the video. Hello, Fearless Freedom Tribe. It's Dr. G, and we are back for another exciting week on the podcast, Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. And today we have Juan Lee with us, and Juan is going to tell us all about himself and what he is up to, because he is up to a lot.
Hello, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. My name is Juan Lee. I am a transformational speaker, thought leader, and author. And I'm also a founder and executive director of a nonprofit called Clear Journey, where we teach teenagers and young adults attitudes and life skills to be successful in life. I'm currently living a life of peace, contentment with all my needs met, living the good life. It hasn't always been that way though. I actually started, my challenge was academics. Going through school, I was basically one that never measured up in a sense because I had an undiagnosed learning disability. Was not diagnosed until I was 37 years old. And I tell you, frustration and fear was a good part of when I graduated from high school. It was like, which way do I go? How do I do this thing? I felt unprepared and really lost with no directions. And I had no hope as to how I was going to survive. I joined the military, and it gave me clarity as it relates to how things work, how life is. And it was very interesting because I guess to put a little bit of backstory there, I had been in religion all my life. And up until that point, but I just didn't see it being practical. I didn't see it being any actions. It was just like, it just didn't seem how it applied, how it worked. And when I went into the military, there was action as it relates to what love was all about. And that was what my journey and what caused me to write my book, Love Made Simple, was that I realized that life and the military was a lot alike. It was like there were similarities. And the fact is that in the military, there were systems that we had to follow, and we would basically generate the same results if we followed the system. But everybody had to buy into it. And that was basically what taught me and got me to a place where I understood the system, and I was able to translate it to life and found out what that system was in life, and found out that love was that system. Love is that system that produces success repeatedly over and over and over again. It doesn't fail. And so that's basically, in a nutshell, my journey because I realized that I think everybody needs to understand that life has a system, and we all have the ability to operate in that system because it's a choice to love. And once we get that, I mean, there's a lot more to it. But the fact of the matter is that that's what my crusade is all about, is sharing love and allowing people to understand that if we work together, there's nothing that can stop us.
That is so true. Oh man, there's a lot there. There's a lot in there for me to unpack. So let's start with, so you mentioned that there was I would say probably more than 16-year struggle for you in regard to the learning disability. Okay. And so you mentioned frustrations when you were in high school, when you're in school, fear, feeling like you didn't measure up, and all of the things that go along with that. So what exactly? So I'm trying to piece together, from graduating high school, did you go to college first or did you go directly into the military? Is that how the sequence went?
Straight into the military.
Okay.
I wanted to get as far away from school as possible, to be honest with you, because you're talking about, my identity was in the trash.
Okay.
I had no self-esteem because it was like I was ill prepared for life, and I was afraid. I was scared to go out. I mean, as bad as in spite of the fact that I didn't feel prepared, I didn't feel afraid, because the academic experience, I mean, it was like, here's what you do for the first, say 18 years of your life. This is what you do.
Right.
And irrespective of whether or not you get anything, that it prepares you to go out and begin to identify who you are, because that was the biggest problem that I had, is that I had no identity. I was just afraid to exist. And then when I went into the military, it told me that I had something to offer. I began to find my identity. I realized that it didn't matter about what I had. It was that I was fulfilled in what I did have. It's not trying to get something or to measure up with somebody else. I have a uniqueness, and my uniqueness was sufficient. It was necessary, and I had to be able to find it and then begin to use it and give it. That's what love is all about. Love is about being able to give what it is that you have. And the fact of the matter is, if you never learn what it is you have, you can't give it. And I'm gonna tell you, feeling like you don't have anything to offer is hopeless. That is a bad space to be in. And so many of us do not know what we have to offer, and as a result have a hopeless. There's no identity. There's nothing to motivate us, because we don't have anything to give. We're trying to figure it out by taking and taking, but life is about giving. It's about giving, and it's being able to provide and to give. So that's what brings fulfillment, is when somebody else receives what it is you have to offer. Nobody can take that from you. And until you identify that, man, your life is hopeless. You're really hopeless.
Wow. So so now I'm a little bit curious, and I don't know if you can answer this, but like, which branch of the military did you end up going into?
Air Force.
The Air Force. Okay. All right. That's cool. That is cool.
The Air Force. Yeah.
Now it makes sense that you would have been on this side of the world. Okay. So I'm learning. Living in Guam has taught me a lot about the military, which I would probably not have known, even though I have people in my family who are career military. So that's interesting. Okay. So you chose, is there a reason why you chose? I'm always curious as to why people choose the branch that they choose. Like, what was it that made you choose the Air Force?
Understand this. I have an undiagnosed learning disability. Okay. And I'm 18 years old, 17 years old. and I wanted to be as far away from school as possible. And back in 1982, the military came out, the Army came out with a program that basically would allow you to come into the military and they would pay for your education. And I was so afraid of going to school. The worst thing I wanted to do was waste my parents' money to go to school and then fail out, because at that point, you know, that safety net is out the window because they just push you through. Because I was in special education. They just push you on through in special education.
I see.
It just push you on through.
Okay.
But I wasn't willing to pay to be pushed through and not get anything out of it. And at the end of the day, I'm still paid this money and ain't got nothing to show for it. So I took the ASVAB test.
And you have to let us know what that is. What is that? What's the ASVAB?
It's basically a test that qualifies you to be able to join the military, to come into the military.
Okay.
It's a 4-hour test.
Holy smokes, it's an endurance test right there.
Oh, it's a 4-hour test, and it tests you on 4 different categories.
Okay.
And you have to score accordingly. And it was amazing because that particular program that the Army wanted required you to be very academic. And that's typically, that took Army, just getting into the Army to a whole nother level.
I see.
And so I didn't qualify for that program. And so I was like, man, now what am I going to do? And the Air Force recruiter said, come over here and talk to me.
Okay.
I went over there and talked to him and said, you qualify, come on.
Okay, so that's what it is. Because I always wonder, because some people, you know, they'll be like, oh, because I wanted to fly a fighter jet, or, you know, like, or, you know, they have some kind of other aspiration. And so I just curious, or they join the Navy because they want to be a diver, or they want to be a SEAL or something. So that's why I asked the question.
There was only 1 or 2 choices.
Gotcha.
And the Army was the first choice.
Mm-hmm.
But the Air Force was the only other choice.
Gotcha.
And the Air Force, and to be honest with you, having been in the Air Force, I would have done no other. I mean, it was the cream of the crop and everything that we did, no matter where we did. Like I said, not only did I go to that part of the world, I was in Europe for 3 years. I mean, I was all over the world. I did maybe 3 or 4 continents while I was in the Air Force.
That's fantastic.
So I tell everybody, it's a great place to start. I mean, it gave me the attitudes and it just changed. With what I was looking for was identity more than anything else. But the fact of the matter is that I needed a system, and they provided that system to me in a way that I could connect with it. And I use those same systems, that same discipline, that same everything that I learned there. It came from what I learned in the military. And awesome. love basically capsulized it, because it gets to the motivation as to why we did those things that we did in the military. And that's basically why I was able to just excel. I mean, who I am is not what I do. I mean, what I do is not, it's who I am.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you know, love is what I operate, how I operate, because of the system. And the system returns the same success every time I do it.
It's dependable.
I implement it. It's reliable. See, love never fails.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't stop me, and you can't prevent me from exercising it. That's a win-win.
Hey, it's Dr. G, and I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank you for listening to this episode. I'm so honored to have you here with me. Did you know that I can help you to get your own podcast started? With my podcasting launch course for professionals, I walk you through everything you need to know about starting a podcast. I'm with you every step of the way, from sign up to launching your show, with 5 episodes ready to go. There's a done for you version that's also available. If you would just rather just do recordings and leave the behind the scenes work up to us, then that one is definitely for you. But either way, we've got your back here at Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Oh, if you already have a show and you need production services, we have monthly plans available for you. So check out the links in the episode show notes for more information. Let's get back to the show. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's great, because I was definitely curious about what that backstory was. And so thank you for shedding light on that. And so now you're in the Air Force, you are excelling. So now I don't know how long you stayed in there. I'm assuming you stayed until you retired. Did you?
No.
No, you did not. Okay. 9 years.
9
Okay.
years.
So 9 years. Okay. So that doesn't really bring you to the 37-year-old diagnosis.
No.
So that we're curious about, because how did that happen then? Because now, so you've had your career, you've had your term there, so a couple more than 2 terms, right? So you did that,
Yeah.
and then you got out, and then you are doing something else. What are you doing when you get out the military?
Well, I get into manufacturing. I go into manufacturing, and then I get married.
Oh, that's nice.
I get married. I'm home for probably about 4 or 5 years, and I get married.
Okay.
And it was at that point that my wife finds a doctor that will give me a diagnosis.
Okay.
Because again, I've figured this thing out, but it's still a ghost, this learning disability. I don't know why I can't do things the way other people do it. I mean, that's basically the gist of it. I'm chasing this ghost all my life up until this point. And then I get my diagnosis, and that ghost goes away, in the sense that I know now what it is. I know that what I've been doing is what I need to continue to do. And that is basically to find my identity, find my uniqueness, and operate within it. Okay. Operate within it. Stop trying to compare myself, because that's what academics do. They compare you with others. And I'm like, no, I have something totally different. And for me to allow myself to be measured against something and somebody else, I diminish myself. And so I began to say, now I know what I need to do and why I need to do it. And it just that clarity life begins to get more clear, because it's not about me not being good enough. It's just that I have something different. I'm unique. And that's where I begin to operate out of, my uniqueness, not out of what somebody else said I'm supposed to do.
Got it. So you are the epitome of being unapologetically you, which is amazing, right? Because a lot of people don't get there. They are bound by what society thinks about them. They're bound by what the people that they deem importance in their lives think about them. They don't step into their truth. But it sounds like you have stepped into your truth, and you have done so despite what everybody else is saying, which is very, very admirable. And oh my gosh, what a way to face your fear. That is incredible. And so you found out that you were able to have a workaround of your ghost. And so when you actually had a label for it, it was like a great day, because now you're like, okay, I've been fighting you forever, but now I can actually look you in the face and know who you are, which is really, really cool.
And that's where my liberty came, because now I was not ashamed. Now I can just be open and honest, and I'll be like, and that's one of the very, very interesting things, because in the military, here's the thing: they didn't diagnose me, but I struggled, because there was a test that took me a year to pass.
Okay.
A year in the military. if I had never passed that test, they could have discharged me for not being able to measure up. It
I
took me a
see.
year to pass that test. And yet it was that type of thing that I couldn't hide that. I mean, I spent probably my entire life trying to be something that I wasn't up until that point. And the military said, no, that ain't gonna work. We can't be in there faking nothing. It got to lay it out on the table. This is what we're dealing with. Now what you gonna do with it? Couldn't hide it. And that's where that humility comes in. I had to just open it up and say, okay, this is who I am. And they said, guess what? We want you exactly like that. We want who you are. And the fact of the matter is that I gave them no reason to think that I didn't want to be there because I gave them everything I had. It took me a year to pass that test. It went through, and it was amazing. It was one test, and I went through basic training, went through my tech school, but there was this one test. It was a comprehension test.
Ah, gotcha.
The comprehension test. And here's guess what? Now I don't know this at the time, but guess what my learning disability is?
Dyslexia?
Mm-mm.
I'm not sure then.
I have a memory deficiency.
Okay, gotcha.
As it comes in, it goes right out.
Wow.
So can you imagine me reading what reading is like?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I have to read it over and over and over and over again. And the test, the comprehension test, is timed.
Got it.
So I'm sweating from the beginning, from the jump. And so I can just be thankful that they gave me a year to pass the test. And I to be honest with you, I don't know how I did it, but I passed it. And I think they realized my character along with my tenacity, not giving up.
Right.
And these are the kinds, this is love. These are the attributes of love, because I tell you, when you open yourself up, there's amazing how people will work with you, will come to your aid, they want to be able to help you.
Absolutely.
But you've got to let them. You've got to let them. One of the bigger messages is that we got to realize that we need help. Every one of us. I don't care who you are. Mine was my situation, but until we're able to realize that we can't live this life in a vacuum.
It's impossible.
We need one another.
You certainly do. Certainly do. No, that's so true. I mean, if you listen to anybody that is successful, that's one of the first things that they say is like this, they go up there and they accept the award and they're like, this award comes, but really, it has my name on it, but it really has these other names on there who helped me along the road, who supported me when I was down, who told me not to give up, like all of that. Like, no matter who you are, like you just said, we always need other humans to help us along the way. It's just impossible to do it alone. Impossible.
Every step of the way. There is no vacuums. You didn't do anything by yourself. Nothing. And the thing about it is that until we realize that we need one another, because the attitude changes at that point. The attitudes of how we view things, and the accessibility, opportunities become available when you open yourself up to that.
Indeed. That is very true.
Things you never even seen. Just because you said, I need help, you'd be like, okay. And I'm going to tell you, what brings fulfillment is being able to give.
Absolutely.
So if you come to a person and say, I need help, and they have an opportunity to give, they're going to be fulfilled and it's going to meet your need.
That is so true.
There's nothing more in life. That's fulfillment in life.
Yeah. There's like, this is another thing that they say about successful people. They understand that. They understand not only that you need to be able to accept help and ask for it, right? And they also understand that it's very important to pay it forward, because there's something about giving, paying it forward, that is just so incredible. Because what happens is there is a feedback loop that happens, and so you're helping that person. That person is then able to make an impact on other people, and there's a ripple effect that no question comes back and benefits you in the end, right? And you just have that feeling of fulfillment, like you mentioned. That is, it's bigger than any amount of money you can make. It's bigger than any accomplishment. It gives you that feeling of wholeness, because you can make a lot of money and you could just be like, oh my gosh, I have all this money, but I just still feel empty. But when you give, when you like help somebody else, that is a feeling that is priceless. And so that
Absolutely.
is the thing that makes us human, right? Because when we are helping each other, when we are creating community, because that's the other thing that we really crave as humans, that is when we truly see our humanity, and it makes all the difference in the world. So I am so grateful that you brought that up, because that's such a big thing.
That's the heart of love. That's the system. You've just outlined the system of love because it does all of those things. It makes you a part of something bigger than yourself. It connects you to people, one another. And then it's that choice to be able to know that your gifts, your abilities, your talents are going to be received and bring fulfillment back to you when others fulfill gain your what you have to offer. It's amazing. It's a system. Love is, and all you got to do is just step into it, just be willing to engage it, and it will bring you all of those things that you're talking about. The things that I talk about with my nonprofit is the practical application of love. I begin to show them in a practical way how love works with attitudes. When you change your attitude, your outcome becomes different. And when you begin to entertain these attitudes of love, because here it is, this love that I'm referring to is about humanity. It's the love for humanity. That's our intent. That's the motivation to love. Is that so that we would give into humanity, and it's not selfish. It's selfless. We've got to change our attitudes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, those are very poignant points. And so you have to just tell us a little bit about your nonprofit, because that sounds very interesting as well. And then if you could tell us the name of the book again and how people can get it.
Well, the name of the book is Love Made Simple, and the subtitle is The Guide to Inner Peace, Contentment, and Success. And that is what we're after in this experience called life, is we want that peace so that we can navigate this thing. And what we do with the nonprofit is that we give guidance through attitudes and through life skills that young people, teenagers, young adults, can navigate life understanding the system, understanding that if you want to be successful, you need to be prepared. You need to prepare to be successful. How do you start that process of being successful? Is to have a clear mind, peace. Once you gain that place called peace, see what happens with a lot of our young people is that we lose peace before we realize that we had it. And then we struggle never being able to get it back, trying to chase money, trying to find happiness. But if we understand what peace looks like, that we might be able, and then we begin to we protect that peace as we pursue our potential, then that begins to allow us to be able to find our niche, find out where we fit without being able to be stressed out, grinding it out. We can begin to really appreciate this experience and understand that we have something to offer. And that's what basically the nonprofit, Clear Journey, that's what it's about. It's about giving them a clear journey, a clear vision for their lives.
And where is it located? Is it like a national thing, or is it a local entity?
It's going to be national, but right now it's just local, because with what's happened with all of with the coronavirus and stuff,
Right.
that we're gonna put it online, and so that the courses and the things that we have, they can have access to it through the internet all over the place. But right now, it's
Fantastic.
right here where I am in Maryland, and so that's where it's going to go to. But
Okay,
we
gotcha.
just launched this. We just launched this last year, late last year, and
Okay.
so we're excited about the abilities of what we're going to be able to do in the lives of young people and young adults. I mean, we want to try to get them before they start making decisions that have long lasting negative effects on their lives.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's great. Okay. And then so the book is available on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles. Like where is it
The
available?
Amazon, you can get an ebook on my website, juanleetheauthor.com. If you go to my website, I have a blog there, and you can get the ebook there, or you can go to Amazon and pick up a copy of the book. But it's on any of the Barnes and Noble. You can go to their website and get it. But anywhere, preferably, hopefully soon, I'm going to be able to allow you to be able to get the hardback from my website. I've just got to
Okay.
get a distribution part there to be able to
Okay.
make sure that but right now, yeah, you can get it there. But hey, I'm in the process of putting together a coaching program, and I'm also in the process of putting a course together, and so all of those things will be available for people to understand. I call it the practical application of love, but it's the navigation of life with
Mm-hmm.
love. And I
Sure.
think once we begin to understand the power and reimagine love differently, because my struggle was basically nobody ever taught us what love was about. Everybody began to define it for themselves, making it as selfishly as they could. But if we can begin to see how we're all in this thing together, and love is the
Mm-hmm.
thing that connects us. And when we're able to connect through love, man, the sky's the limit. We can all be better together.
No, that's awesome. And then just in case, whoever is listening to this and is interested in contacting you does not have access to the show notes immediately, is it JuanLeeTheauthor.com? Is that correct?
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
That's
All right. Awesome.
juanleetheauthor.com.
Awesome.
And also you can send me an email, info@juanleetheauthor.com. And if it's anything that you want to talk about, we can even set up a time and we can talk. If you want love to be able to help you in your journey, give me a holler. We can set up something. I'm just here to share. I want everybody to understand love and the value that it plays in all of our lives.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So, you know what? We have had such a fantastic conversation, and we are at the point in the show where we do our tradition. So, are you ready for fill in the blanks?
Yep, sure am.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. So, the first one is if I am fearless, I will.
If I am fearless, I will reach my potential. I will
Okay.
reach my potential if I am fearless.
Awesome. Awesome. The next one is to me, fearless freedom means
A peace of mind. It's that ability to have clarity, to be able to navigate life is exactly that. That's what it means to have fearless.
cool. And then the third one is my battle cry is
Love. Love. Love never fails. Whatever your situation is, gather the attitudes of love and attack it, because I didn't get a chance to tell you that there's 7 attitudes of love. One is sacrifice, the other one is humility, the third one is courage, the other one is caring, the other one is discipline, the other one is responsibility, And then it's tenacity. Never give up. You'll never lose until you give up. Never give up.
Awesome. 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 Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and spending time with the Fearless Freedom Tribe. We truly appreciate it. We love the pearls. We love the fact that you shared your story. This is definitely something that's going to be encouraging to, one or more, or maybe many who are listening. So I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Again, I'm Dr. G. And if you like this episode, be sure to subscribe so that you can get notified of when the next episode is going to be. And also, I'll catch you next time. Have a great one. Be strong, be brave, and unleash your greatness.